Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever found yourself constantly giving, offering kindness to everyone around you only to feel drained, unappreciated, or even taken advantage of? It's a common experience in a world where we're taught that kindness should be limitless, that we should always be there for others. But what if I told you that being kind to everyone without discernment might not always be the best thing for you or for those around you? What if I told you that sometimes, in order to truly practice kindness, you need to know when to stop? We often hear that kindness is a virtue, that we should always extend a helping hand, offer a listening ear, and share our love freely. And while that's true, there's another side to kindness that's just as important: knowing when to set boundaries, knowing when to withhold your kindness in order to protect your own well-being. The truth is, kindness isn't about giving endlessly, it's about being intentional with where, when, and how you share it. So today, let's dive into a simple but powerful truth. Kindness, when not practiced with wisdom and discernment, can do more harm than good. Join me as we explore why sometimes we need to stop being kind to everyone and instead focus on being kind in the right way, at the right time, and for the right reasons. Kindness is one of the most cherished virtues, but it's crucial to understand that it is not meant to be extended blindly to every person or situation. True kindness is discerned, not just a reflex action. While many people believe that kindness means being nice to everyone, the reality is more complex. Kindness should be offered with discernment, guided by wisdom, and tailored to the needs of the moment. Blind kindness without thought or consideration can sometimes do more harm than good. There are times when kindness in its purest form is essential, like offering help to someone in need or showing compassion to those who are hurting. But not every person or circumstance requires or deserves the same level of kindness. For example, when someone repeatedly takes advantage of your goodwill, offering endless kindness without setting boundaries does not serve anyone's best interests. Instead, it may reinforce negative behaviors and enable the person to continue exploiting your generosity. The situation is not about whether or not the person deserves kindness, it's about whether kindness in this context will lead to a positive change or simply perpetuate harmful patterns. True kindness is about understanding the heart of the matter. Sometimes the most kind thing you can do is to withhold your kindness. It may be difficult to accept, but showing kindness to someone who is engaging in hurtful or harmful behavior does not help them grow. In fact, it might even enable them to remain stuck in their negative patterns. In such cases, it takes wisdom to recognize when kindness should take a different form. Perhaps a firm boundary, a word of accountability, or even a pause in interaction to allow for reflection and growth. Discernment in kindness also involves recognizing the difference between being kind and being a people pleaser. There is a fine line between offering compassion to someone and allowing them to walk all over you. People pleasers tend to be overly kind, trying to appease everyone at the cost of their own well-being. This constant need to seek approval from others can drain your energy and hinder your ability to be genuinely kind to those who truly need it. Being kind in a discerning way requires the courage to say no when necessary and the strength to stand firm in your values. At its core, kindness is a tool for building relationships, healing, and creating a positive impact. But for kindness to truly work, it must be guided by understanding and wisdom. It must be given in the right measure at the right time and to the right person. This ensures that kindness does not become a tool of manipulation or exploitation, but remains a genuine force for good. When we learn to discern when and how to be kind, we can offer a kindness that builds up rather than diminishes our energy, dignity, or self-respect. It's not about being kind to everyone all the time, it's about knowing when kindness is the most powerful and meaningful response. Being kind to everyone can often lead to blurred boundaries, which can result in unhealthy relationships. When kindness is offered indiscriminately, it can create a situation where your personal needs and limits are overlooked or even disrespected. Healthy relationships require mutual respect, and part of that respect comes from establishing boundaries. These boundaries act as protective measures that help you maintain your emotional and mental well-being. Without them, even the most genuine acts of kindness can lead to burnout, resentment, and even manipulation. When you give endlessly without considering your own limits, it can cause you to feel drained and emotionally depleted. Constantly prioritizing the needs of others over your own can lead to exhaustion, making it harder for you to offer kindness in the future. This is where the importance of boundaries comes into play. Boundaries are not about being unkind or selfish, rather they are a necessary aspect of self-respect. By setting clear and healthy boundaries, you not only protect your own well-being, but also ensure that your kindness is not being taken for granted or exploited. In relationships, boundaries help establish a balance between giving and receiving. If you are always the one giving without receiving in return, it can create an imbalance. This imbalance can lead to feelings of resentment, because ultimately you may start to feel that your kindness is not being appreciated or reciprocated. In extreme cases, people may begin to expect your kindness, taking it for granted and pushing you to give more than you should. Over time, this dynamic can result in feelings of frustration, disappointment, and even a sense of being used. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you stop being kind. It simply means you are being discerning about when and how you offer your kindness. When you establish boundaries, you are protecting yourself and ensuring that your kindness is being extended to people who genuinely appreciate it and are not using it as a means of control or manipulation. Boundaries also help you maintain your emotional and psychological space, which is crucial for maintaining your overall health. Without healthy boundaries, you risk losing yourself in the process of always trying to please others. Additionally, boundaries help prevent codependency, a situation where one person becomes overly reliant on another for emotional support or validation. When kindness is offered without consideration of boundaries, it can enable a codependent relationship where one person feels responsible for fixing or saving the other. This can create an unhealthy dynamic that stifles both individuals' growth. True kindness encourages independence and self-sufficiency, allowing both parties to flourish without the constant need for one-sided support. In conclusion, setting boundaries is a vital part of maintaining healthy and sustainable relationships. While kindness is a beautiful and powerful trait, it must be tempered with discernment and self-respect. When you recognize the importance of boundaries, you can offer your kindness in a way that builds stronger, more meaningful relationships while also safeguarding your emotional well-being. This allows you to continue being kind without sacrificing your own needs or values. Kindness without accountability can often lead to enabling bad behavior in others. It's easy to assume that kindness in all its forms will always lead to positive outcomes, but this is not always the case. Sometimes when we extend kindness to someone, especially in the face of wrongdoing or harmful behavior, we inadvertently reinforce their negative patterns. When we fail to hold others accountable for their actions, we are, in a sense, allowing them to continue in their destructive behaviors without consequence. This can be especially true in relationships where one person repeatedly makes poor choices or engages in harmful actions, yet the other person continues to offer kindness, hoping it will make a difference. Offering kindness in these situations might feel like the compassionate thing to do, but if it is not accompanied by accountability, it can actually be enabling. Enabling is when you allow someone to continue their harmful behavior, often out of a desire to avoid conflict or to keep the peace. This can happen when you repeatedly forgive or cover for someone's mistakes without encouraging them to take responsibility for their actions. In the end, this does not help the person who is engaging in the negative behavior, and it can harm your own emotional well-being. True kindness is not about enabling others to remain in harmful patterns. It's about helping them see the error of their ways and encouraging them to make positive changes. Sometimes that means confronting someone with the reality of their actions and letting them know that their behavior is not acceptable. While it may be uncomfortable, this type of kindness can ultimately help the person grow. It teaches them accountability and the importance of taking responsibility for their actions. Without this accountability, kindness becomes a band-aid solution rather than a genuine effort to help someone improve. In some cases, showing kindness without holding others accountable can even lead to further harm. For instance, if you continue to tolerate or overlook someone's toxic behavior because you want to be kind, you may end up getting hurt in the process. Your kindness may not change the other person's behavior, but it could lead to your own emotional and mental exhaustion. It's important to remember that kindness does not mean allowing others to treat you poorly or taking on their problems at the expense of your own peace. Furthermore, kindness without accountability can create an imbalance in relationships. When one person is consistently offering kindness without any expectation of growth or change from the other person, it creates a one-sided dynamic. This can lead to frustration, resentment, and a lack of fulfillment. Healthy relationships require mutual respect and accountability, and without these elements, kind can become a tool for perpetuating unhealthy patterns. In conclusion, kindness must be paired with accountability in order to be truly effective. Offering kindness without expecting personal growth or change can inadvertently enable bad behavior and hinder the development of a positive, healthy relationship. True kindness encourages responsibility, growth, and change, both in the giver and the receiver. It's important to recognize that while kindness is essential, It must be given with wisdom and discernment, ensuring that it doesn't enable or perpetuate negative behavior. While kindness to others is an admirable trait, it is equally important to practice kindness toward yourself. Often people focus so much on being kind to others that they neglect their own needs, desires, and well-being. Being kind to everyone around you is a noble thing, but when it comes at the expense of your own mental, emotional, or physical health, it becomes counterproductive. If you are always giving to others without taking the time to nurture yourself, you will eventually find yourself drained, burnt out, and unable to offer the same level of kindness in the future. Self-kindness is not about being selfish. It is about recognizing the value of your own well-being and ensuring that you are able to continue offering genuine kindness to others. Taking time for self-care, setting personal boundaries, and listening to your own needs are essential forms of self-kindness. When you give too much of yourself without first refilling your own cup, you risk reaching a point of exhaustion. This leads to feelings of resentment or frustration, which undermine the very kindness you are trying to extend to others. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot offer true kindness to others if you are not kind to yourself first. It is crucial to recognize that you are just as worthy of compassion and care as anyone else. Self-kindness also means forgiving yourself for mistakes and not being overly critical. People often treat themselves much harsher than they would treat others. Self-criticism can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, which in turn can impact your ability to extend kindness to others. Instead, self-kindness requires you to accept your flaws and imperfections and treat yourself with the same love and understanding that you offer to those you care about. It is about giving yourself permission to rest, to make mistakes, and to prioritize your needs when necessary. By practicing self-kindness, you create a healthier balance in your life. You give yourself the opportunity to recharge and refresh, which you better equipped to handle the demands of others. This means that you are not only preserving your energy, but also building emotional resilience. When you take care of yourself, you become more compassionate, patient, and capable of offering authentic kindness to those who truly need it. Without self-kindness, your acts of kindness to others can become superficial or forced, as they stem from a place of depletion rather than abundance. Moreover, being kind to yourself also means setting healthy boundaries. It's important to recognize when you need space, time, or a break from others, and to give yourself permission to take it without guilt. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, and setting them ensures that you are not constantly overextended or overcommitted. This type of self-respect allows you to offer more meaningful kindness to others rather than offering it out of obligation or diversion, but of your own needs. In conclusion, kindness to others should never come at the expense of your own well-being. Practicing self-kindness is an essential part of maintaining your emotional health, resilience, and capacity to love and support others. When you are kind to yourself, you replenish your energy, fortify your spirit, and make it possible to continue offering genuine kindness to those around you. Therefore, make sure to prioritize self-care, set boundaries, and be gentle with yourself. Only then can you offer the fullness of your kindness to the world. Being selective with kindness is an important approach for building stronger, more meaningful relationships. When you extend kindness, it should be given thoughtfully, not indiscriminately. Offering kindness only to those who value and appreciate it ensures that your efforts are not wasted on individuals who are indifferent or ungrateful. This approach not only protects your emotional energy, but also fosters connections with people who reciprocate the same level of respect and care. When kindness is selective, it can be more impactful and lead to deeper, more authentic relationships. If you give kindness to everyone without discernment, you may find yourself surrounded by people who take it for granted or worse, exploit your generosity. There are individuals who may expect constant kindness without offering anything in return, and others who may even manipulate your goodwill for their own benefit. This dynamic can leave you feeling unappreciated, drained, and frustrated, ultimately undermining your desire to be kind in the first place. By being selective, you can avoid these negative situations and ensure that your kindness is given to those who genuinely deserve it. Selective kindness does not mean being harsh or withholding, but rather choosing to direct your energy toward those who will respond positively to your actions. It means recognizing when your kindness is helping someone grow or making a meaningful difference in their life, as opposed to simply being a way to fill a void or alleviate your own discomfort. Being selective helps you build connections with people who value the true essence of kindness, those who reciprocate your respect and care, creating a healthier and more balanced relationship dynamic. This approach also allows you to maintain healthy boundaries. When you are selective with your kindness, you are also taking responsibility for your own emotional health. It's easy to get caught up in the desire to please others, but when kindness is offered indiscriminately, it can lead to overcommitting yourself and ultimately feeling resentful. By recognizing that not everyone is deserving of your kindness or energy, you protect yourself from emotional exhaustion and resentment. This self-awareness allows you to direct your time and resources toward people who genuinely care about you and who will appreciate your kindness. Moreover, being selective with kindness encourages personal growth in both you and others. By offering kindness only when it is truly needed or appreciated, you encourage others to recognize the value of your actions. This can foster an environment of mutual respect where both parties are invested in creating a meaningful connection. It also allows you to reflect on the quality of your relationships and assess whether they are rooted in genuine care or simply convenience. Relationships built on mutual kindness and respect are much more fulfilling and sustainable than those formed out of obligation or superficiality. In conclusion, being selective with kindness is not about withholding compassion, but about directing your energy where it will have the most positive impact. It helps you build stronger, more authentic relationships while preserving your own emotional well-being. By recognizing the value of your kindness and offering it to those who truly deserve it, you ensure that your efforts are both meaningful and reciprocated. Selective kindness is an important practice that allows you to maintain healthy boundaries, build lasting connections, and cultivate a life filled with genuine, fulfilling relationships. True kindness is not about being kind to everyone at all costs, but about offering kindness with wisdom guided by love and discernment. This principle is deeply rooted in the belief that kindness should be practiced in a way that is not only beneficial for others, but also aligns with the greater purpose of personal growth, mutual respect, and ultimately, divine guidance. The idea that kindness must be accompanied by wisdom reflects the understanding that blindly offering kindness without discernment can lead to harm, both for you and the people you are trying to help. When kindness is guided by wisdom, it means recognizing the moments when kindness will nurture growth and healing, and when it may inadvertently support unhealthy patterns or destructive behavior. For instance, if someone continues to mistreat you, or take advantage of your generosity, offering kindness without addressing the behavior might only encourage more of the same. True kindness holds people accountable for their actions, promoting change and improvement rather than reinforcing negative habits. Kindness that is wise does not simply ignore harmful behavior or abusive patterns, but seeks to encourage a positive transformation in both individuals involved. It recognizes that sometimes the most compassionate response is not to continue being kind in the same way, but to offer support in a form that encourages growth and responsibility. This type of kindness is also shaped by love, genuine, unconditional love that seeks the best for both parties. However, love alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by wisdom to know when to act and when to step back. There are times when stepping back is the most loving thing you can do, allowing others the space to learn and grow on their own. Rather than continually rescuing them or offering your help, wisdom helps you discern when your kindness will be productive and when it will simply be enabling someone to remain stuck in unhealthy patterns. It helps you avoid the trap of trying to fix people or their situations, realizing that true change comes from within, and sometimes the best kindness you can show is to allow someone the opportunity to grow through their struggles. Additionally, kindness guided by wisdom recognizes the need for balance. It requires understanding that there is a time to give and a time to withhold, depending on the circumstances and the individual's needs. For example, offering support to someone who has made genuine mistakes and is seeking to change is different from offering kindness to someone who repeatedly makes the same mistakes and refuses to take responsibility for their actions. Wise kindness seeks to guide, correct, and uplift rather than merely appeasing or avoiding discomfort. When kindness is directed by wisdom, it also helps you protect your own emotional well-being. It prevents you from becoming overwhelmed by the needs of others to the point where your own needs are neglected. Wisdom in kindness involves recognizing that while it is important to care for others, you also need to care for yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and wise kindness ensures that you are filled up emotionally and spiritually so you can continue to offer genuine, loving support to others. In conclusion, true kindness is not blind, but guided by love, discernment, and wisdom. It involves understanding when to offer kindness and when to step back, when to hold others accountable, and when to allow them the space to grow. Kindness, when practiced with wisdom, not only helps others, but also preserves your own well-being, allowing you to maintain a healthy balance in your relationships and life. This form of kindness nurtures personal growth, fosters meaningful connections, and ensures that your efforts lead to positive change both for you and those around you. In conclusion, the journey of kindness is not about offering it indiscriminately to everyone, but about practicing it with discernment and wisdom. True kindness comes from a place of understanding where we know when to give and when to step back, when to support and when to set boundaries. It is a balance between compassion for others and respect for ourselves. By being selective, holding people accountable, and prioritizing our own well-being, we create healthier, more meaningful relationships that can stand the test of time. Remember, kindness does not mean being a doormat or sacrificing your peace for others. It is about showing love, setting boundaries, and offering support in a way that fosters mutual respect and growth. When kindness is guided by wisdom and accompanied by healthy boundaries, it not only strengthens others, but also builds a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this message. I wish you the very best on your journey toward practicing kindness in a balanced and meaningful way. May you continue to share love and compassion, but also know when to protect your own peace. Good luck, and thank you for your attention and thoughtful consideration.